was built in 1868. It served as the sheriff's headquarters as well. What's most interesting about the history of the jail is the reported haunting started almost immediately after it was built.
Now, I want you to picture, that prison was there for over 100 years. So that entire time span, you had different people in there. All this negative energy.
People were reporting seeing shadow figures, they were hearing voices, things were moving on their own. Tell me how to help you.
I thought that was you.
No, that was knocking coming from this.
Holy shit.
Like,
as soon as I walked through here, I got hit with cold
like
air.
ice.
Like, oh, wow. All right, where are you? You got coming to me? I just said get out.
So not long after we go to the second floor to investigate those noises, we record a voice on the static camera on the first
in
floor.
1946, the prison housed its most famous, or rather infamous prisoner, James Robert Hinkle. Just said something and it went like completely silent afterward.
Does it come back?
It's your third time.
If you could go back in time and redo things, what would you do differently?
I would get through with it. I'd get those people.
Think about that for a second. Imagine you can go back in time and relive a terrible moment in your life. What would you have done differently? Most of us, I think it would be reasonable to assume that we would make a choice that would that would remove us from a horrible situation so we wouldn't have to live with the ramifications of that for the rest of our lives. This guy, on the other hand, freaking doubled down on it, and knowing full well he's still gonna go to jail. My name is Scott McCafferty, and I'm a mental health professional by day and a paranormal investigator by night. Over the past 11 years, I've been learning to take the skill set of helping others and apply it to my ongoing investigations into the paranormal. With an assortment of friends and family, I am on a mission to contact the echoes of history and potentially solve the mysteries they left behind. All right, welcome everybody. Scott and Rex here. We are at the Old Williams County Jail in Bryan, Ohio. We've got 3 static cameras going up right now. The first one is up on the second floor, shooting down the corridor where they used to have the women's cells. That's one of the most active spots that's in the building. We're shooting now at a chair that supposedly moves, and shadows have also been seen sitting in that allegedly. Our second camera is also on the second floor. It's over on the sheriff's side of the building, shooting in one of the rooms where they actually used to have a bunch of offices. This is where the sheriffs would hang out. The 2 rooms you see at the end, one of them was the evidence closet, and the other one is where they used to store all of their guns and really cool firearms. And then on the first floor, we are shooting down the main corridor right outside the men's cell block. We're also shooting outside the drunk tank. All sorts of activity happens in here, including people walking up and down the staircase. Supposedly there's little doors that'll open and close in this hallway on its own. So again, we've got the camera going here to try to catch all of that. So I also want to give special shout out here to Rex, who got gimped lately. He's unfortunately on one leg tonight, but he's here. He's going to suck it up with all the staircases and everything else. Yep. So hopefully, if anything happens, I won't have to worry about tripping him and running. I can just run and let nature take its course. Yep. No offense, Rex. All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started. It's a little after 8 o'clock at night. We are going to be going live on Twitch here in a little bit, and we'll see you guys there. So let's roll. My name's Scott McCafferty. I have been a paranormal investigator for close to 20 years, and I still feel incredibly old every time I say that. So bear with me here as I groan and die a little inside.
Hello, my name's Rex Tracy. I've been a paranormal investigator for roughly 10 years now. It's always been a passion of mine, something that I'm always looking forward to experiencing something new, getting to learn something. So it's always exciting, always keeping me on my toes.
And I was actually pretty excited about this one because it's not a location I really had a whole lot of expectations for. Surprisingly, it's not a location that a lot of people seem to have investigated. It's not as widely seen on the different TV shows, on the different YouTube channels. And what's exciting about an opportunity to investigate a place like this is you don't have a lot of preconceived notions of what's going to happen and what to expect.
So what was special about this particular location is you have somewhere that is a bit smaller. So we were able to really focus on everywhere at the location, not just, the hot spots. But here we were able to go to different locations like the drunk tank, the women's cell block, solitary. We were even able to investigate the offices.
To give you a little bit of background on the building, it was built in 1868. It served as the sheriff's headquarters as well as the jail pretty much for the entire time that it was built. That was what it was intended for. It's gone through several renovations throughout the years, but the core function of the building never changed. The last prisoner left in 1999, and the sheriffs officially left the building for their new offices in 2014.
Then in 1868, this building was constructed to be the county jail. Now, I want you to picture that prison was there for over 100 years. So that entire time span, you had different people in there. Domestic violence people, tax fraud, anything. All this negative energy brought into one place.
So what's most interesting about the history of the jail is the reported haunting started almost immediately after it was built. And that's the amazing thing, because it hadn't even had prisoners in there yet. And already it was getting a reputation for being haunted. People were reporting seeing shadow figures, they were hearing voices, things were moving on their own. Most people at the time believed that the spirit that was haunting the building belonged to a man by the name of Andrew Tyler. Andrew Tyler was a traveling magician who came to Bryan, Ohio, and for whatever reason decided to lead a young boy out into the woods and then brutally murdered him. He then comes back into town and declares, "I am a psychic and I'm going to lead you to where this missing boy can be found." Nobody is fooled at all, and then he is arrested, tried, and then actually became the only public execution in the history of Bryan, Ohio. After he died, people believed that it was his spirit that came to the new jail to haunt it. So after Andrew Tyler, you don't really hear a lot about many of the inmates that served time here until you get to the year of 1946.
In 1946, the prison housed its most famous, or rather infamous prisoner, James Robert Ingle.
He was a World War II veteran who served in the Navy, and then in 1946 he came back to town and developed a little infatuation with a young librarian who's working in the town there. And one night he decides that he is going to go towards the end of her shift, right before the library closes, and he's going to hide in the basement. And then as the library closes, she's going around the building making sure everybody gets out okay. He then pops out of his hiding spot and brutally murders this young woman. And I mean brutally from all accounts about this particular murder. He is later caught, he's arrested, he's tried, and he's sent to jail. And of course he spent time in this jail as a prisoner.
One other notable thing that goes on throughout the entire location is the spirit of a little girl people see and hear. No one really knows where she came from or who she is.
Now remember, this building was built with the full intention of being a jail and a sheriff's station, and was never anything else in the 150 some years that this thing was open. So why the hell is a little girl inside this building, haunting it? No one has any clue. But there are some theories.
One of the running theories as to who this little girl is the sheriff's daughter. The reason being is the sheriff's house is actually attached to this location. There's actually a tunnel that goes between the two locations. They're separated by some big doors. So running theory is little girl comes over, plays around, messes around over there, then goes back.
All right, let's come on in. Hello, whoever may be here. My name is Scott. This is Rex. We are going to be hanging out with you tonight. We are interested in making contact with anybody who'd like to speak to us. So please make yourselves known. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We have several devices here that we are going to be using throughout the night to try to hear your voices. And if there's a certain spot you'd like us to come to, make some noise and we'll try to go there first. Thank you very much, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. All right, so we're going to try an EVP burst session. Okay, burst session number 1. We are in the men's cell block of Old Williams County Jail, Scott and Rex. Is there anybody in here who would like to speak to us? Sounds like someone's upstairs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You look up and go upstairs? Yeah. Scott and Rex coming through. You're hearing noises upstairs. I'm going to roll on the EVP recorder. Okay, Scott, separated from Rex, he's a couple rooms over. We're on the second floor right outside solitary confinement. Is there anybody up here with us? So not long after we go to the second floor to investigate those noises, we record a voice on the static camera on the first floor. Now, what's cool about this voice is very deep. It is a deep male voice. And Rex and I kind of debated what we think it says. We think it says either "I'm here" or "come here." I'm going to loop it again. You guys make up your own mind what you think it says. Okay, playing it back.
Hey, Scott. Separated from Rex, he's a couple rooms over. We're on the second floor right outside solitary confinement. Is there anybody up here with us?
Watch your step.
Is that you moving around solitary? Yeah, but I also got a footstep right in front of me. Can you make that sound again?
Solitary's creepy, man.
Yeah.
Getting nothing. Do you have the cat balls?
I do.
Let's put one on the chair at the end of the hall here in the women's. All right, I'm going to be putting a cat ball down there so you guys can see that. All right, I'm going to be putting a... All right, I'm going to be putting a... All right, ladies, I'm bringing you a toy to play with. I'm sure you've seen one of these before. This little toy right here. All you got to do is touch it. See how hard you have to hit? You have to hit that thing pretty hard to get it to go off. So if anybody would like to play with this, you are more than welcome. It's a toy that is for you. So we're walking around and we're doing some EVP burst sessions, and we even split up. He spends some time in solitary confinement by himself. I go over to the women's cell block by myself. So other than getting some knocks and noises, we're not really getting a whole lot up here. So we decide that we're going to go ahead and set up for our first Estes session of the night because Rex decided he wanted to be in solitary confinement. And right as we're setting up for this thing, we managed to record some more EVPs. Is that camera going yet or no?
No.
Okay, do you need me to set that up?
Yeah.
Okay. Stay here. We also got a night vision camera that is going to be filming him at the same time. We also got a night vision camera that is going to be filming him at the same time. Is that camera going yet or no?
No.
Okay, do you need me to set that up?
Yeah.
Okay. Stay through here. We also got a night vision camera that is going to be filming him. The Estes method, or the Estes session, is a type of seance. And the way that it's set up is you have one person who's designated as the receiver. That person sits in the middle of the room or somewhere nearby, and they have noise-canceling headphones on and a blindfold. The reason for that is because you want to create a sense of sensory deprivation. You don't want them to see the people around them. They should not be able to hear any questions that are being asked. All they should be focusing on is whatever responses are coming out of the spirit box. Everybody else is somewhere nearby, and they're asking questions to what may or may not be there. The person who's doing the receiving, since they can't hear the questions, every time they say what the spirit box says, they don't have any context as to whether or not that answer is important or not. Everybody else in the room does. All right, you ready?
Already.
How many people are in this building with us right now? Are you out here with me in the hallway? I'm here talking. What cell number are you in right now?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, why don't you come out of that room and look on the door frame. If you look on the door frame, I'll tell you what number cell this is. What number of cell you in.
We are.
Let's make sure you guys know what it looks like. Is that you making noise out in the hallway? Behind my camera? You finally what? Here, Rex, Cindy
Help
just
me.
help you. Help you with what? Tell me how to help you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, you didn't even say hello. Where are you going? Come back. His name's Rex, if you want to say hi to Rex. The fuck? The fuck? That was loud. Something banging on metal over there. I think it might be banging on the bar doors downstairs. Are you downstairs or are you up here?
Something about a child.
There was a child that died in
It
here.
was in a female's voice.
Okay, so one of the stories is there's a sheriff's house that is attached to this building right now, and there's a family that's actually living in there. And way back when, there was a little girl that was living in there because it was a sheriff's house, and there has been a girl seen in this building before. No one really knows where she came from. So the assumption is that she used to be related to one of the sheriffs. This building was built in 1869, and has been a sheriff's office and a jail the entire time up until it was abandoned in the early 2000s. So who's the little girl? What's her name?
We don't want to cause any trouble.
Well, that's okay. We're just here to communicate. We're not looking to cause trouble either. We would just like to have a nice conversation.
That was like a man with a really heavy southern drawl. Make note, Scott, for like the last minute, I felt like really dizzy and nauseated. What stood out to me during the solitary confinement Estes method is usually I don't get like physically like sick feeling or physically affected. In there, I was starting to feel nauseated. I got like a sense of vertigo almost.
Okay, duly noted. Are
He's
you
going.
affecting Rex right now? Are you trying to interact with him physically?
What do you think,
Why are you trying to infect him physically?
Rex?
Yeah, that's his name. Can you tell him why you're trying to touch him? Why you're trying to hurt him? Do you want me to pull Rex out of there? I'll pull him out. Alright, I'm gonna pull him out. Let him close in a half hour. Okay.
All you've missed so far is right now we're getting ready to set up an Estes method for Scott.
I need headphones. So this is the women's cell block where the women prisoners were at. This supposedly is the most active hallway in the entire building. You ready?
You're up for that already.
Okay, turning on. How you doing?
We're doing pretty good.
Super.
Can I know who I'm talking to?
The world.
Can you tell me the name of...
Henry.
All right. Who's Henry?
Where's my baby? That was woman's voice. It's down. The kids, though.
Oh. Is that you out in the hallway?
Maybe.
How many of you are out in the hallway?
Electrocute. Speaking. Stop.
Can you tell me what color shirt I'm wearing?
You know that that's a problem. Where's Jessica?
I'm not sure. Can you tell me a little bit about them?
She was in a coma.
Okay. When was she in a coma?
Know it?
Stream.
Patient.
All right. So was she a patient?
Asshole. I just said he's an asshole.
Oh. Okay.
It's like he's an asshole.
Are you talking about me or the gentleman in the chair?
Chair.
Ooh. Why is he an asshole? Never seen the like Scott.
Lovely.
So once again, a spirit is calling me out through an Estes Session spirit box. I really don't know what these spirits have against me. I really don't get it. It seems like every time we do a spirit box session or we do an Estes session, there's always something swearing at me, threatening me, calling me out by my name. I have no idea what I do to piss these things off.
In true fashion, every location I've been to with Scott, to some capacity, Spirit tells him to go F himself. They call him a dick. They called us schmucks once. I think part of the reason they hate Scott is a relatively common name that you can go back to through eras and, is pseudo commonplace, as well as, he could look like someone from their past. Or he could just be the first dude they see, walking around in there by himself, setting up, or, very punchable face.
Did he really say I have a punchable face? That dick. All right, Rex. All right, I have a punchable face. Well, guess what, jackass? Next time we do one of these, you are going to the darkest, dankest, nastiest, most spider-infested haunted spot that I can find in that building, and your ass is sitting for an hour.
Do you not like having a male in the women's cell block?
It bothers him.
Bothers who?
I'm here for life.
My understanding, interacting is kind of controlling the conversation a little bit. What got you here for life?
Tammy.
You touch anything? Is Tammy your name? All right, do me a favor. I want you.
I'm down.
Okay. I want you to either say my name or the gentleman in the chair's name. We introduced ourselves earlier.
His name is Scott.
Okay. So,
That was a male's voice.
all right. Can someone tell me my name?
7:51. Why are you doing this?
We're doing it so we can hear your side of the
I'm
story
too old.
and learn more about you. I'm sorry if we're keeping you up or bothering you.
There is no way.
To learn about you? Well, then
Listen. Listen to me.
That sounded like someone angrily walking down the hall.
Let me out.
So what we're going to do is we are going to go out into the hallway. Because I'm hearing...
I'm out there.
Okay, so we're not out
Evil.
here. Not out here alone.
Help me.
What do we need?
High pitched woman's voice there. Help me.
What do we got to do to help you?
I have a problem.
Okay, what kind of problem?
Do it slow. Let me out slowly or let it out slowly. Let something out slowly. Help me, same voice.
What do we need to do to help you?
Down to the little station.
That is so... I swear, every time I go back over there in the hall, guys, there is something walking. Like I can hear footsteps. I don't know if you guys are catching
You got it, Snoopy.
What? Are you making fun of me?
I did.
I'm getting roasted.
You are.
Guys, I'm getting
No, but you are. Sorry, but you are.
I'm getting roasted by the ghosts.
Down.
After finishing the Estes Session in the women's cell block, we decided to head back to base camp and take a break for a little bit. But almost immediately after we left, the static camera up here on the women's cell block cam started going off. Listen carefully to this first one where you can hear what sounds like somebody screaming.
So the reason we decided to go to the drunk tank is that was one of the few places we hadn't hit that night. We chose to do an Estes session in there because that seems like a very easy line of communication. We were having success in the rest of the building doing so.
Okay, you ready?
How about that it is?
Let's start with something easy. What did this room used to be?
Help me.
Tell me how.
It was a female voice.
It's weird we're getting women down in the men's block. What kind of help do you need?
One of the most common answers we personally get from a spirit box EVP is help me, save me, or any variation of it. The reason I think they're conveying that to us is you gotta think, if you're dead, we don't know what the other side looks like. So it could be dark, it could be scary. So they're trying to reach out and get help. Now, whether that help is moving them on, making them feel more safe at the location, or any number of things, they're asking because they need it. Also, a lot of these locations that we go to, like the Old Williams County Jail, those aren't places that you would want to spend long periods of time. So wouldn't you want help out of there? You know, wouldn't you want some level of salvation, some form of help? And I think a big part of that is too, you know, myself, Scott, we go in with such a nice, you know, try to be more helpful, not just bombard them with questions. You know, I want to help people. That's part of doing this. This isn't just, like I said, it's not just a hobby. It's something I care about. I care about those spirits. I care about, you know, how they feel being in these locations.
Can you tell me what you need? What kind of help you need?
No.
Okay. Am I supposed to guess what help you need?
It was like a woman screaming, but not like she was in any danger.
Like screaming for attention, screaming?
Playful. Did you touch me a second ago, Scott?
You can't hear me, dude. But no, I did not touch you.
Because it felt like someone grabbed my leg and shook it.
No. You know, we've been hearing noises all over the building tonight. Are you trying to lead us somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you just trying to mess with me or are you trying to scare me?
We are.
Yeah? Why are you trying to scare us? Or why are you trying to scare me?
It's just what I do.
Do you get enjoyment out of it?
Whatever voice is talking, I can't understand what it's saying. It's talked on 3 different occasions and I can't make out what it's saying.
Are you having a hard time talking?
It just whispered yes.
Do you choose to be here?
No.
Alright, does that mean you're stuck here?
We have to.
Was it a punishment?
No. That was a female's voice.
So you have to stay here, but it's not a punishment. Are you staying here because you're trying to help somebody?
Home.
Do you consider this your home?
It just said living.
I want to go back to you said you're stuck here, but it's not a punishment. So what's the reason you're stuck here? Are you attached to something here?
Home.
You're attached to home. So down the hall, there's a room that has a bunch of stuff in it. Is some of that stuff in there from your home?
Yes.
Okay. Could you tell me what it is?
Okay.
Okay. So what is it? And if I can find it, what would you like me to do with it?
It's none of your business.
Okay. So you want me to just leave it here and leave it alone?
There was one very prominent voice that was speaking. To me, it seemed like it was much more of a younger, more controlling, kind of cocky. I don't want to say arrogant because that's not the right word, but very sure of himself. I should give you the finger.
Go ahead, you can give me the finger, it's okay. Why are you mad at me? What am I doing that's upsetting you?
You're in our building.
Ooh, okay. So you don't want visitors? Why is being in your building upsetting you?
Go home,
Well, I will eventually, but not yet.
or you'll get shot.
No, somehow I doubt that. I don't think ghosts can shoot me. So while we were in the drunk tank doing our Estes session, we started getting some rather angry and nasty responses. So I thought back to what happened at the Broadwell Funeral Home, where I was able to kind of turn that spirit around by saying, look, you don't have to be a prick to get a response out of me. Just tell me what you want and you'll get it. Like, it'll be okay. So I decided to kind of go that same route with whatever was reacting to us down in this jail, because whatever it is trying to scare us, is trying to threaten us, and of course, none of that really means shit to me. So I decided I was going to go ahead and try and wheel and deal with it a little bit and say, hey, look, I'll make you a deal. You answer these 3 questions for me, and we will go ahead and leave this room, and we'll leave you alone. And shockingly, for the next several minutes, it answered every single one of our questions. So I'll tell you what, here's question number 1. You ready? That's not question number 1. Question number 1 is, tell me what years you were here.
It said a number ending in 1.
Okay, I appreciate that. So that's first question. The second question, what were you here for?
Criminal.
Well, no shit. You gotta be more specific. What specifically did you do that was criminal? That's the actual second question.
I was packing.
Okay, so you had a gun, weapon, something like that? Okay. Alright, third question. Alright, yeah, we're gonna make this good because I promised 3 questions and I'm gonna be a man of my word here. So the third question is...
Come on and go.
Don't rush me, come on. I'm being nice. You be nice too.
What's your problem?
Well, I thought I said shut up.
There's like 3 different voices and they're talking to each other like they're bickering.
Okay. You guys bicker, so I give you a chance to think of my last question.
Why bother? That was a female.
So the last question I have is there...
It's your 3rd time.
If you could go back in time and redo things, what would you do differently?
I would get through with it.
Not specific enough, I'm not sure what you mean.
I'd get those people.
Okay, well that's a much more clear answer. Think about that for a second. Imagine you can go back in time and relive a terrible moment in your life. What would you have done differently? Most of us, I think it would be reasonable to assume that we would make a choice that would that would remove us from a horrible situation so we wouldn't have to live with the ramifications of that for the rest of our lives. This guy, on the other hand, freaking doubled down on it. He doubled down on doing something despicable and knowing full well he's still going to go to jail. That to me is like mind-blowing. I think that encapsulates perfectly why this guy ended up in jail. I'm curious, if you had gotten that, would you still ended up here?
Yes.
So are you happy here then? Is this where you want to be?
Yeah.
How many people are stuck here? Like you guys, like you are? Ooh, that's quite a bit. Do you guys all hang out in the same rooms, or do you kind of move around the building?
Who are you?
My name's Scott, and that's Rex. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and he's from Ashtabula. And we've come all the way out here tonight to hang out with you guys.
Tough.
Well, I guess we are kind of tough. I mean, Rex is here. He's kind of hobbling on one leg throughout the entire night, so he's definitely tough. I'm large and semi-muscular, so I guess I'm kind of tough. I think I'm going to start pulling him out here in a few minutes. Is there anything else you want to say before I do that? Going once.
Dick.
They call me a dick? I'm a bastard. At least I'm not a fucking bastard. I love this part. This part was so funny to me. So, I am a huge fan of the movie From Dusk Till Dawn. And my favorite quote from that movie is, I may be a bastard, Kate, but I'm not a fucking bastard. And so I used that line in here when the guy was calling me a dick. And the best possible response you could ever get is what he said in response to said, well, I may be a bastard, but I'm not a fucking bastard.
That's me.
You're the fucking bastard?
This person was very sure of themselves, and they were not being shy about what they did. Then Scott goes, well, if you answer these 3 questions, we'll leave. Proceeds to answer the first 2, no problem. Third question, what would you have done differently? And without missing a beat, I remember this clear as day, I would have got him. So when you have someone that's so sure of themselves that they would go back and change something so extreme just to do it again, that really leaves an impression.
All right. Any last requests for I pull them out?
Not really.
Okay. Thank you for your time. I know you didn't want to talk, but I appreciate that you did. And I hope you have a very good night. Rex. And I hope you have a very good night. Rex. And I hope you have a very good night. Rex. So whenever I do a paranormal investigation, I have 3 goals that I'm trying to achieve. Number 1, is there something actually here? Number 2, who or what is that thing that is here? And number 3, why is it here? And that third one is the most important question of all, because that is the whole crux and reason why we all investigate the way that we do. What is this phenomena that we call spirits? Is there such thing as an afterlife? If there is, why are they here? Why are they not in heaven or hell or whatever the equivalent is based on whatever belief system people have? What is this all about? And to get a spirit to actually answer that question is incredibly rare. And at first, Rex and I were kind of a little bit surprised that the spirit didn't want to say what this object was. So then when I thought back to all my years as a mental health therapist, and with all the people that I've worked with over the years, especially at-risk youth, that's where I've spent most of my career working with, one of the things I always remember getting into conversations about with parents or caregivers or foster parents is that people need to have a sense of control over their life. Kids, and even some adults, especially prisoners, always are told what to do. They don't really have a whole lot of control in their lives, which is why you see a lot of these behavioral outbursts, and you see a lot of these depression symptoms and these anxiety symptoms because you have no control over what's going on in your life, or very little control. So now fast forward to being a spirit, and you are attached to an item that is inside a building. That means that if myself or somebody else were to go and locate that item and take that item, I now control where that spirit goes. And I might take that spirit away from this jail and put them into someplace else that they're going to like even less. After the Estes Sessions, we decided to take a little bit of a break, and we decided we're going to do our last couple patrols of the night. All right, spirit box session inside the men's cell block. Who's here with us? You're being awfully quiet. Where are you? Couldn't make out what it said though.
That's a polo.
Did it say polo?
Yeah. Sounds like an insane polo.
All right, can we try that again? Marco? Something's trying to come through. That was good. That was good, I think it said. What was good? Can you say Marco? I don't understand anything it said. Can you talk in this room okay?
Can one of you guys slam one of the doors?
Did you hear that?
Yeah. That came from upstairs.
Let's go upstairs.
Marco!
I'm coming. I have two fisting cameras right now.
Marco!
Okay, this is outside of solitary confinement. Dude, I can see my breath up here now.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell it
one of
going
these
before.
doors?
Is anybody in here who wants to talk? Are you down there on the women's side?
That just sounded like someone knocking.
I thought that was you.
No, that was knocking coming from this.
Holy shit.
Like,
Let's go check the sheriff's side. You got it? Marco! Right now we're investigating strange noises.
one thing that I noticed throughout this entire investigation is the amount of interaction when it comes to bumps, bangs, knocking on doors and stuff. You know, at any point throughout the night, it almost was like whatever was there was interacting in a sense to screw with us, you know, get a laugh. As we're walking through doing a closing, you know, there's a good 15-minute section where we were just trying to figure out where these noises were coming from. We'd hear one loud bang over in the women's cell block. As soon as we get over there, then we'd hear a bang over in the sheriff's side. Then we'd hear something in solitary. You know, we even separated to try to close in on these sounds and no luck.
So we decided towards the end of the night to try a trigger object experiment. A trigger object is anything or any kind of item or music or something that would remind somebody of a particular time frame in which they lived. So for example, if you were alive in the 1860s, I might play Civil War era music for you. That might trigger you to wanting to interact a little bit more because we're playing something that you're familiar with, something that you would have known, maybe even had a fond memory of. Okay, Scott and Rex were walking around the jail.
Just said something and it went like completely silent afterwards. Sounded like a woman. These noises bringing back any memories?
Which is funny because I know to put it there. Now, a spirit box, keep in mind, is just a modified AM/FM radio. All it does is it sweeps up and down the AM/FM bandwidth continuously, making a whole bunch of noise. The idea behind that is a spirit can take that noise and manipulate it to say whatever it is that they want to interact with you. Wasn't that just that?
Did you try saying something?
Let it keep going. Say come back.
What did you say? He did.
Okay, we'll go back. Oh man. As soon as I walked through here, I got hit with cold
like
air.
ice cold.
Like, oh wow. All right, where are you? You gotta come in more. That just said get out. You gotta come in more clearly than that.
It sounded like if he catches.
Yeah. This doorway here is freezing fucking cold. We just walked through it. Like there was nothing.
Is it?
Now it's cold as fuck.
Okay, but like back in this hall is not that cold.
Yeah, whatever it is right here. Like this whole area right here. I know you feel it, right? It's like walking. It's like
Hitting a wall.
yeah, it's like hitting a wall. What is it about this doorway?
It's not even right here. Not even there.
Well, no, that's in the closet.
I know. It's.
There's no windows to the outside anymore.
There's nothing in here that should be making it this spot particularly cold.
Yeah.
My overall conclusion about Old Williams County Jail is that it is a place with layered history. It's somewhere I definitely would be interested in going back to, to recreate those moments. Not only that, to have an interaction with a spirit that is so confident and assured is, that's something you don't get to experience a lot of. To have something that knows what it is, knows what it wants, and just answers questions that quick and that, with that much confidence is amazing. That's why I do this, is because of moments like that. That's something I'm gonna carry with me the rest of my life. I wanna go to these locations and I wanna preserve their history. If you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat it. You have all these locations across the world that aren't as popular as these massive locations that have just as much history and detail and important information for us to preserve. So as an investigator, I feel like that's kind of my duty. That's something I want to preserve. That's what I want my legacy to be.
When I look back on an investigation, especially whether or not one was a successful investigation, I always look at what were the answers I got to the 3 questions I always set out to have answered. And that is there something here? Who or what is it? And why is it here? And for the Old Williams County Jail, I think, again, we got answers to 2 of those 3 questions. I mean, forget, for instance, we got disembodied voices, forget all the bangs and the bumps, forget the spirit box hits. If nothing else, even if I didn't have any of that, which I do, but even if we didn't have any of that, I consider this a hugely successful investigation because at least for one spirit, in one instance, we got them to say why they are here. That is huge, which proves once again that some of these smaller locations that aren't as widely known can be the best locations to investigate. I'd say based on the expectations going into it and what we captured, I think this is an overwhelming successful investigation. And I am thrilled at the possibility of being able to come back to continue digging into those answers, to find out more details to the why that person is here.